Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for stopping by. A cup of coffee with Jesus. The Rev here. Just want to take some time to get into the Word for a little bit. Enjoy some good Ethiopian coffee. Man, this is some good stuff. Ethiopian coffee beans are smaller than like Brazilian and Colombian beans, but they pack a punch and they're just good. Some info. So today I was, started yesterday. Yesterday I had a question before the Lord, the difference between empathy and compassion. It's a big difference. It's like we always want to be sympathetic, empathetic, compassionate towards people. The Lord gives good examples of both, but today I wanted to talk about compassion, because compassion is really what we need to have more of, is compassion and not just pity or sympathy or empathy. And a quick rundown on the difference between them is pity is I try to understand your suffering or your situation. Sympathy is I care about your suffering or your situation. It's like I truly care about it. Empathy is I try to understand your suffering or I try to understand, like I try to put myself in that situation and really understand, like, what would that really be like? But compassion is a total different thing, because we go from this, there's actually stages. Pity runs to sympathy, which runs to empathy, which runs to compassion. And compassion is that I relieve your suffering. I reach out and offer concrete help. You know, you can have pity on somebody, you can have sympathy for somebody, you can have empathy for somebody, but compassion is what Jesus showed in the Word in the parable of the Good Samaritan. It's Luke10, verse 30. You know, of course, the heading is a Good Samaritan, and it says, Jesus replied and said, a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell among robbers, and they stripped him and beat him, and they went away, leaving him half dead. And by chance a priest was going down on the road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. I'm going to stop right there, because you know the priest looked over there and says, oh my goodness, that poor man. Because that's what priests do. He had either pity or sympathy for him, right? But then when it said he went down on the road on the others, and he passed by on the other side. Likewise, a Levite also, who came to the place, and he saw him, and he passed by on the other side. So I have a feeling that one of them was sympathetic, and one of them had pity. But he said, but a Samaritan who was on a journey came upon him, and when he saw him, he felt compassion. He felt the compassion to offer concrete help to alleviate his suffering. He came upon him and he bandaged up his wounds. He poured oil and wine on them. He put him on his beast, and he brought him into an inn, and he took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii, and he gave them to the innkeeper and said, take care of him, and whatever more you spend, when I return, I will repay you. Which of these 3 do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell into the robber's hands? And he said, the one who showed mercy upon him. Then Jesus said to him, go and do the same. Jesus drew a parallel here. He said, you had ones that were sympathetic and probably had pity on him, but the one that offered concrete help and got in the midst of his situation and helped him, offered concrete help, that is the one that you're supposed to be like. He didn't say that the others, he didn't say that they were bad. He said, but which one proved to be more of a neighbor to him? This is a complex story. I've heard it preached all different kinds of ways. That this is the full representation of Christ, and it's his coming back all of it is wrapped in the story of the Good Samaritan. That was good. But I'm just telling you, the main thing that Jesus pointed out here is that you are to show compassion. Compassion fell upon the man the Samaritan, and he gave concrete help to the man that was in need. We should always have pity and sympathy and have empathy towards all the situations. But Jesus says being the neighbor even more so is when you use your compassion. Everybody has compassion. Everybody has all four: pity, sympathy, empathy, and compassion. We all have all four. But he says the best, bringing your best, bringing your A game, showing up to help is showing your compassion. Because Jesus showed his compassion at the cross. His compassion was big at the cross. He got in and took it all and offered concrete help to our situations today. Yes, indeed, he's a good God. Jesus is good. Jesus is amazing. Jesus provided it all at the cross. He provided all the compassion that we had there, that we needed there, all the mercy that we needed there, all the grace that we needed there. He displayed at the cross for us to use today. We just need to walk in it. So the next time a situation of somebody's suffering arises, put in your mind, am I showing pity towards it, sympathy towards it, empathy towards it? Or Jesus, am I being you and showing your compassion? Ask yourself, pity, sympathy, empathy, or compassion? Because which one is going to make you the greater neighbor? I hope you guys have a great day. And in having a great day, just remember that Jesus loves you. I love you. And there's nothing you could do about it. Have a great day. Goodbye.